Hello everyone and welcome back to the Model Railway series. Now in this video I'm going to be talking about my recent visit to the Mount Sorrel Heritage Centre and participation in the Tony's Trains 10th anniversary. So those who don't know, Tony's Trains of Rugby recently celebrated, as I record this 1 week ago, his 10th anniversary of being in business. So I'm going to post a link down in the description to his website so you can go check him out. Tony's a great friend of the NCMA and just a general all-round fun guy to be around. Always got a smile on his face. Yeah. So I'm going to roll the intro and then we're going to take a look at that and also my new purchase from Tony's Trains. Welcome back, and yes, as mentioned in the intro to this, last weekend, me and my fellow NCMA members, who I want to thank for some of the B-roll footage you're going to be seeing on the background here, because I'm an idiot and forgot to record any stuff of my own, and I do it at every show. I go out, I film stuff, and don't actually shoot much of the NCMA Modular itself, and I really should get into the habit of doing that. Anyway, by the by, thanks guys for providing me with the footage. Last weekend we were invited by Tony's Trains of Rugby to join him in celebrating 10 years of his shop. So we all descended on the Mount Sorrel Heritage Centre, which I'd never been to before, despite the fact it's only an hour away, and it's an offshoot of the Great Central Railway, and on the Sunday they were actually running DMU unit from, I believe it would have been from Rothley up along the Mount Sorrel branch to the quarry and back. So 3 trains ran during the day, and I was able to get some footage, and I'll show that in a second. But yeah, first outing of the year. So we hadn't been to a show since the NEC in November, and it was good to be out again. It was good to see my fellow NCMA members, because not all of them were involved in the restoration project at Whitwell and Reefham, so it was a good chance to catch up with them guys, and it's always good fun to hang out with them and run the Modular. So on the Saturday there were 4 of us, and we were joined by Tag and Laurie for the Sunday, and I'd say layout went together very well. Some of the guys rolled up on Friday and set up, and they essentially had to wait for me to turn up on Saturday morning to insert the final piece. But that went up in very short order. We connected it all together and it just ran flawlessly. So despite not being ran for 6 months, just a little track clean, and we were away with it. Not every piece of rolling stock behaved themselves. I had my 14XX, which ran fine at home, but developed this week, so it just needs a service. And I will probably do that in an upcoming video soon. A, because I'm still learning myself how to service these things, and B, I've been asked for more sort of that kind of video, so why on earth not? Let's do it. So, with that in mind, this is, or was planned to be, one of the last events that Outwell Basin attended. It will be down at the Gresham show in June, which is the third weekend. And those of you that don't know, Gresham is not far from the site of the military railway, so if you are able to attend that show, please come down and see it. There is going to be a lot of LMR related stuff ran on the modular, but we are also going to be running some DCC stuff using our phones of all things. So yeah, come down and see that, because I'm really looking forward to running the modular on DCC. So it'll be a wireless system, and yeah, come check that out, I guess. Honestly, there's not much more to say about it. There were no issues. We used the Bachmann controllers that can be picked up for like £10 second hand. They're not expensive, new, and often come with your starter set. So we just use a couple of those, and I have to say they are so reliable. And you wouldn't think that an exhibition standard layout could be run on something so cheap and basic. And I use the word cheap to describe the price you pay for it, not the construction, because they are literally bomb-proof. Everyone goes on about old H&M, and you can't get better than that. Well, I've never owned an H&M. What I have owned is various Hornby controllers and Bachmann ones. I had the Bachmann Easy Command DCC. I've killed 2 of those. No idea how or why. But the general DC controllers just live on. So, with that said, I'm not going to waffle on much longer. This is going to be a bit of a shorter video, but let's go have a look at my new purchase, shall we? So, moving on to my new purchase, which is a Ruston that's not a Ruston. And maybe I should clarify that a bit by bringing onto camera a rather noisy, it has to be said, but rather well running at the same time, Class 37 906. Now, some of you will be aware of this already, but a few of you may not be. So why am I saying it's a Ruston that's not a Ruston? Well, in the late 80s, BR decided to have a couple of test beds, shall we say, in the form of 37 subsector 9s. So 2 of them were fitted with the Merleys engines that were eventually selected for the Class 60, and 2 of them were actually fitted with Ruston engines, and this is a model of one of those. Now, it is a Lima one, which means it has these crazy big D-loop couplings, which I don't like and will one day remove. And it doesn't have working headlights, it doesn't have any of the modern things that, even if you got a Trains 37, it would probably be a better model, but that doesn't matter to me. One thing I have noticed though, getting it out of the box, is it does look like someone has fitted flush glaze into it, so that's one upgrade that I would like to do that some nice person's already done for me. So I will be doing some little modifications to this, but largely it's for the modular fleet, so it fits right in. I could run it with the decouplings, I could run it as it is, just a little service, and it would fit right in. Now, one other thing I did receive just about 2 weeks before the show is a delivery from Rapido. And this is one of those deliveries. I mean, how good does this look? So it comes from the factory like this. So it's an ex-private owner wagon with some of the planks replaced. You can see the black board just here where it's been painted. And, you know, I love these Rapido wagons. They're great detail. You've got all the under frame detail that you could ever want. And yeah, I have 6 in my fleet now, I think. Maybe 9. But suffice to say, I have all the wagons I will ever realistically need now. Which means that I have nearly all the rolling stock I'll ever need. I do want to add a couple of regional railways liveried Mark IIs. And I think they would look great behind my 37-9 here, despite it being in rail freight livery. And pretty much anything else I can think of running on the Modular. I just think that would look really cool. And to my knowledge, no one else in the club has Mark IIs, or at least they've not been bringing them. And there's not all that many heritage railways, to be fair, that run Mark IIs. Now, Mark Is you can find everywhere. Like, if a heritage railway has a coach, there's a fair bet it's a Mark I. And some have large fleets that will be others, but they will have Mark Is on site because they're just so commonplace. And I think it'd be cool just to have a couple of period liveried Mark IIs to go with it. And those of an eagle eye will notice the bare baseboard that it's sitting on. Well, you don't really need an eagle eye, to be fair. But yes, I do have more boards in progress from Grange and Hodder. So there will be updates coming on them. And I'll take you through step by step as I do the scenery on them. I haven't featured the basic construction because that's covered in another video that will be linked at the end of this one. So you can see how I went about it previously. There's not much difference. The only difference I will say on these boards is I've really gone to town. I mean, you can see one just here, and might be able to pick some out in the background, such as here. I've really gone to town with the little nails on this because poor old Outwell Basin, it is coming apart slowly but surely. And you just really, with Grange and Hodder boards, I've never experienced it with other manufacturers, but their boards, you really cannot rely on the intersections of the boards and glue. You do have to nail them together, which it is a shame, but if you know that and are forewarned, it's not the end of the world, and it will make a stronger board as a result. So anyway, yeah, having done my debrief of our first show of the year, which was at the Tony's Trains 10th anniversary, which once again I'd love to thank Tony and his crew for inviting us down to Mount Sorrel. I had an absolute blast all weekend. I got a tiny bit of sunstroke on Sunday because I was outside so much, but yeah, it was an absolute blast. So yeah, thanks to all the crew there. Thanks to all the volunteers and staff at the Mount Sorrel Heritage Centre for hosting this. And with that, I'm going to disappear and let you get on with your day. So thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.